New and dangerous developments from overseas. North Korea firing more missiles overnight after the U.S. imposed new sanctions. The latest missile tests come on the heels of another ballistic missile launch on Tuesday that even caused disruption in the United States, a ground stop at several West Coast airports. CNN is learning new details now about what sparked that reaction. Let's get over to CNN's Barbara Starr. She's live at the Pentagon with more on this. Barbara, what are you learning?
Well, Kate, let's start with those overnight launches by North Korea. Now, we have seen several launches of suspected ballistic missiles by the regime in the last several days, some saying it's the highest pace of activity by them since 2017. Not a clear understanding of what is going on. Another one of those usual statements from the administration. They're watching it. They're condemning it. But behind the scenes, a lot of worry. What is Kim Jong-un up to? Why is he doing this? And perhaps no more laser focus than, as you say, earlier this week on an incident when they launched a missile believed to be by the U.S., an advanced missile going at super high speeds that the U.S. would have trouble defending against. And initially, the trajectory they calculated was aimed square at the West Coast in Alaska. That led to an FAA ground stop for a short period of time. Now, the U.S. military is saying it was all a big mistake because they very quickly calculated that that was not the trajectory. And in fact, the missile only flew about 400 miles and dropped harmlessly into the ocean, thank goodness. But nonetheless, it led to a ground stop. If it was a mistake by the FAA, it was the most significant ground stop of commercial traffic, perhaps, since 9/11. So the U.S. military and the FAA certainly have a lot to talk about if North Korea keeps launching these missiles and how the U.S. is going to defend itself. Kate?
Absolutely. Barbara, thanks so much for that reporting. I appreciate it. Developing at this hour, U.S. intelligence indicating that Russia has pre-positioned a group of operatives to conduct a false flag operation in eastern Ukraine, one that, of course, then the Kremlin could use as a false pretext for an invasion. An official telling CNN that the U.S. has evidence that operatives have been trained in urban warfare and in using explosives to carry out acts of sabotage against Russia's own forces. This intelligence echoes claims made by Ukraine's defense ministry. And it also follows a cyber attack revealed today on a number of Ukrainian government sites by unknown hackers. Much more to come on that.
We are following breaking news this hour. A U.S. official tells CNN that intelligence indicates Russia has positioned a group of operatives set to conduct a false flag operation, as it's known, in eastern Ukraine. All of this in an attempt to create a pretext for a potential invasion of that country.
CNN White House reporter Natasha Bertrand is following this. And Natasha, this is what many experts had been warning about over the past few weeks. And here we are. What more details do you know?
That's right, Bianna, and this is exactly what they had been fearing because it is part of Russia's playbook, according to U.S. officials who told CNN that they are seeing things that are repeating themselves from the invasion of Crimea in 2014, namely Russia creating a pretext for an invasion by carrying out what U.S. officials say is a false flag operation in eastern Ukraine using Russian operatives that are trained in urban warfare.